Okay. I choose to speak on what is in our uppermost mind today as a world, as a country, on the issue of coronavirus. Specifically to our country, where I feel that safety of our people must come first above anything else. When I mean safety, I'm looking at people being confined into households, into isolation, and into self-quarantine. It must be our priority. We can no longer hold when we see what is happening in Europe, where the cycle is ahead of us by 4 or 3 weeks, and where we've seen untold suffering. I want to appeal and persuade the government that we need a total lockdown for a period of 2 weeks to 4 weeks. From what I've read and seen, you can only address this disease by total suppression. If we do not suppress it by confining each person to their household, we will not be able to fight this virus. And any other language will not be able to assist our country. It is so important that the safety of our population takes priority at this moment in time. And the only way we can guarantee it is by a lockdown for an initial 2 weeks to 4 weeks. We have seen, and I want to say, I have followed the Ministry of Health, and the minister has done well, and members of government have done well. But we've also seen that the protocols that they have established have not been followed. In fact, it is the fact that the protocols have not been followed that calls for an immediate lockdown. We have seen how people who we expect to be responsible, like the deputy governor's case in Kenneth, like some members of the clergy, behaving in a very irresponsible manner, encouraging lack of social distancing, refusing to take self-quarantine. And today, if you go to the streets, you go to the markets, you look at PSV vehicles, you can see for yourself that the protocols are not being followed. This in itself is the biggest danger to our population in 2 to 3 weeks when the incubation of that virus begins to blow up. And we've seen the devastation in developed countries. I hate to imagine what would happen to our country with a full blown up situation. I want to appeal to the president and government to come with emergency measures to ensure that if we have a lockdown, the vulnerable, those who live hand to mouth, many of our workers who work on casual labor are fed in the same manner. When we have famine in our country, we are able to feed those who cannot get food in the period of 2 weeks that I'm calling for an initial lockdown. We can discuss many things. We can discuss the economy of the country. All those countries that have suffered serious economic downturn from the virus have first addressed the safety of their population, and the economy has come secondary. We can have economic stimulus after an initial period of suppressing the disease, because we know that the period of a lockdown does create an economic downturn. And I want to appeal again to say that you cannot grow an economy when the population is sick, the population is dying. And immediate measures to feed the population in a lockdown must be taken into consideration immediately. Our own brothers and sisters who form the police force, who form the army, who form institutions of government can be empowered to deliver food and any other necessary measure to a lockdown population. But I want again to insist that lockdown is not an option. is a must if we have to save our population in our country. Thank you.
That was precise.
Hata mishahara nimesema walipo leo. Even in my own house, domestic who come to work have dismissed wakae nyumbani. Because the way
That is the only way.